Hi everybody and welcome to today's yoga video. This video is all about how to get started with yoga. We're going to take it nice and slowly, and you don't need much to get started. In fact, you don't need a fancy yoga mat, you don't need fancy yoga clothes. All you need is a cushion from the sofa, so we'll grab one of those in a minute, and a nice space to practice. So if you've got a towel or a blanket or a rug somewhere nice to stretch out, make yourself nice and comfortable, and I'll meet you back here in a moment. So welcome to today's class. My name is Susie, and we're going to get started very slowly and simply with a great yoga grounding pose. We're going to come to sit on our cushion in easy cross-legged pose Sukhasana. So take a few moments to get comfortable. We want to think of our hips as being a little bit lifted to take the pressure off our knees. If this doesn't feel too good for you today, feel free to stretch the legs out in front. You could also sit on a chair or maybe scissor the legs, or find a position for the legs that works for you today. Yoga is working with your body, not against it, and we're going to focus on our mind, our body, and our breath today. We're looking for a union of all those things to help us feel more at home within ourselves. So let's get started. I'd like you to take a few rounds of breathing, just paying attention to the inhale and the exhale, and just see how that's doing today. You can rest the hands on the legs, sit up nice and tall, but without forcing anything. Just feel the head resting gently on the top of the spine, and you can close your eyes if that helps. It can help you to tune out some visual distractions and turn your awareness inward. As you breathe in, maybe you feel the body expanding a little bit, and just notice where you feel it. As you exhale, begin to just let go of some of that tension that might have built up in the body. If you're practicing at the end of the day, you might feel it in your shoulders, maybe in your jaw, or even your eyebrow, where we often unconsciously hold some tension. If you're practicing in the morning, you can see this as a way to wake up the body and prepare you for your day. Take another round of breathing, inhaling deeply and exhaling fully. Inhale deeply and exhale fully. Let's do one more breath in. Really feeling those lungs and ribs expand with the breath, and as you exhale, just feel the shoulders relax. Maybe drop the chin, softly open the eyes, let some light back in, and wiggle the fingers. Now we're going to move into our first yoga pose, or a series of yoga poses. As we move, I'd like you to remember one of the yoga sutras, which is Sthira Sukha Asanam. Asana is steady and comfortable. That's what we're aiming for today, folks, being comfortable in our bodies. So not striving to where we might like to be in the future, or thinking maybe about something we were in the past. Really focus on the here and the now. So come round into a tabletop position. Bring your knees onto the cushion for a little bit of padding, and bring the hands underneath the shoulders. Just settle in here, and we're going to synchronize our movements with our breathing. So take a nice big inhale to prepare, and then exhale, and just begin to curve the spine like a cat on a hot tin roof. Drop the head between the arms, not forcing anything, just feeling a gentle flexion of the spine. As you inhale, move in the opposite direction, feeling the heart center or the sternum lift forward, but without straining the neck. Exhale, move back into cat stretch. And inhale through to cow. So we're just kind of waking up the spine here, adding a little bit of extra movement into the curves of the spine, just to help stretch them out, get some kind of movement into those areas of the body that might be a little stiff. And keep moving at your own pace here. Now exhaling into cat and inhaling into cow. But there's no right or wrong here. We just need to go kind of with our own body and our breath. If you'd like to spend a little longer in either one of the stretches, please feel free, go for it. Let's do one more of each stretch. So coming into cat, finishing with cow, and slowly make your way back to tabletop. from here, we're going to sit back into child's pose, and you can move the cushion, and there's a couple of options here. You can always come to child's pose whenever you're practicing yoga if you need to take a little break or just have a time out, and take the knees wide, sit over the heels. You can also place the cushion here if that's more comfortable, and then stretch yourself out in front of you into this space. You can stretch the arms out along the mat, you can draw them in, you can rest the head on folded hands or even on stacked fists. Let the shoulders relax, let the breath soften. And we've got some nice kind of stretching and compression going on for the hips, the knees, the feet and the ankles. And you can stay here for as long as you would like to. Another option is to lower the forehead all the way to the mat. Turn to look to the side and then bring the hands around in a big circle so the hands are by the feet and the back of the hands are resting on the ground with the palms facing up. This can be a nice, quiet, calming pose. It's a great way to just take a few moments of chill out time. Let the shoulders relax and let everything melt down towards the floor. Good. Take one more inhale. And we're not going to stay here for too long. You're welcome to press pause and come back to this if it feels good. But I'm going to guide you slowly up. So come up to sitting or to kneeling very slowly. Move the cushion to one side and maybe shake out the wrists. And then make your way into a yoga pose you might be familiar with called Downward Dog, Adho Mukha Svanasana. And you're going to lift the hips up and back, pushing the hands into the floor. Now you can think of creating a foundation with your hands and your feet. So if you need to move your hands and your feet a little bit further apart, go for it. The feet want to be about hip distance apart, toes facing forward. And to begin with, keep a micro bend in the knees. You want to feel the weight over the hips and the feet, so we're not collapsing into the wrists. We want to actively push the floor away, feel the upper arms engaged, shoulders plugged back, and those hips high and away from your hands. To pedal out the feet and to begin to open the back of the legs, we're going to slowly stretch the right heel towards the ground. It does not have to touch the ground, and bend the left knee. And then switch, bend the right knee and stretch the left ankle towards the ground. And just keep moving like this a few times. Pedaling the feet slowly. You're going to stretch out the sole of the foot, the calf, the ankle, the hamstrings. If you feel and hear a few creaks and pops, that's great. You're getting out the tension. Some people like to roll the top of the foot over, I do, and massage the top of the foot into the floor. So keep moving here, and again, if any time you need to take a break, just sit back in child's pose and give the wrists a little break. As we're beginning yoga and beginning to practice these different poses, we might not be used to the sensations. We're going to build strength as we go. So downward dog was definitely one of the hardest poses for me. I'll never forget. In my first yoga class, I was shaking in downward dog. So feel free to take a break. From here, we're going to slowly drop the knees down if you haven't already, and come back to kneeling. Again, you can always add the cushion here for a little bit of a break. And just take a moment to scan down through the body now. Scanning from the crown of the head down through the spine, the legs, the feet, all the way to the tips of the toes. Should be feeling nice and warm, maybe a little bit of energy in the shoulders and the hips, back of the legs and the feet. Take a nice big inhale, exhale, slowly move the cushion to one side, and then we're going to spin around and come down to the mat. You might need to scoot forward or your space, and slowly lower yourself all the way down to the ground and hug the knees in towards the chest. Now this is a great way to kind of release the lower back a little bit. You can rock from side to side with one hand on each knee. You can also do some circles, so letting the knees drop away, catch the knees, and then do some butterfly circles with one hand on each knee, going round, kind of moving the leg bone in the hip socket, and go in both directions with your circles here. Good. And then bring the knees together. Stretch the left leg out along the ground and hug the right knee gently in towards your right chest, right side of your chest. So give a little squeeze here and then release that tension. Then we're going to place the left hand on the left hip, take the right knee out to the side a little bit and feel an opening in that right hip. Now you can stay here, or you can slowly lift and lower that right knee, just gently opening up that right hip a little, not too much, good. And then bring the right knee back to center. Switch the hands over, so now take the left hand to the top of the right knee and begin to rotate, drawing that knee across to the left hand side. So you're going to roll onto the outside of your left hip, but keep this left leg active, so don't let it go all loose and floppy. Going to keep it pressed into the floor, press the outside edge of the foot into the floor. Then reach the right hand along the floor, and if you can, turn to look out towards your right hand. So we're coming into a spinal twist. It's a nice way to twist out the back, get a little bit of rotation while we're lying on the floor, so it's nice and relaxing. This is not too energetically draining, hopefully for you. Good, take one more inhale and then exhale, roll back to center, hug the knee into the chest one more time and then switch sides. Stretch the right leg away, hug the left knee in. And again, squeeze that left knee in quite close to your chest and then release some of that tension. Bring the right hand to the right hip. Using the left hand, just gently guide this left leg out to the side. So I'm not rolling too much here, I'm just trying to keep this right glute and hip on the floor and take a little opening to the side. If your hip doesn't move very far, that's okay. Again, don't pull here or force, we're just moving with our body, keeping it steady and comfortable. And again, you can move that left knee up and down a couple of times. Good. And then bring it back to center. Switch hands using the right hand. Guide that left knee over. So you're coming into the twist. Keep the right leg actively pressing into the floor and then stretch the left arm out along the floor. Turn the face to look out to the left arm and come into this nice spinal twist. Exhaling deeply as you feel this nice rotation for the body. Noticing where you feel the sensations of this posture. Do you feel it in the left shoulder, the left arm? Do you feel it in the left hip or the right hip? Good, take one more inhale and then slowly come back to center. Hug that left knee in one more time and then hug the right knee up to join, up to meet the left knee and roll yourself into a little package here. Wrap the arms around the shins and draw the forehead up towards the knees just as much as feels comfortable, and then relax everything down onto the floor. We're going to come to Shavasana, just lying on the floor. This is corpse pose, where we can really let go of all those final little bits of tension, help the body kind of recharge, allow the breathing to soften, and feel the weight of the body supported by the ground underneath you. So closing the eyes, relax the hands, relax the feet, feel the back of the head touching the floor, the back of the body, back of the hips, the back of the legs, and just feel yourself almost melting in towards the ground now so that the muscles can switch off. They don't have to hold us up. The bones, the tendons, the ligaments get a little break. And by letting your breathing soften, we're just going to let the nervous system shift gears, slow down, and just kind of park for a minute here. So if the mind starts to wander, which it sometimes does, just follow the breath. Take your awareness back to the breathing you practiced at the beginning of the class. Taking a nice inhale and exhale. Just keep following the breath as you let the body reset. And you're welcome to stay here for as long as you would like to. I'm going to guide you back to moving for now. So we're going to take a full body stretch as if you were waking up in the morning. Wiggle the fingers and toes, bring some movement slowly back to the body. And then bring the hands down, bend the knees and walk the feet in towards you. Roll over onto your right hand side, nice and slowly. And then push yourself up, opening the eyes as you move, and come back up to seated, to sitting, just like we did at the beginning of class in easy pose Sukhasana. Take a nice big inhale, exhale, and bring your hands together at your heart center in a prayer position, the Anjali Mudra. And we'll just take a moment here to be grateful, to be thankful to ourselves for taking this time to practice, and I'd like to thank you for joining me today. Welcome to your practice of yoga.